That day, we were hanging out at Shahbagh Square, me, Sajid, Rupom, Milu, Tarek, Shahryar, and Mishkat. Let me first tell you, Sajid is an ex-atheist. He used to be a non-believer, but now he's a believer. Rupom and Shahryar are still atheists. Marx is their religion, their worldview. Milu is an agnostic. He's not sure whether a creator really exists or not. Tarek, Mishkat, and I, we're still somewhere in the middle, undecided. Every Sunday, we gather here for discussions. More than just a hangout, it's like a study circle. We share what we've read throughout the week, what we've understood, what confused us, basically, a book review in posh English. That day's presenters were Shahryar and Sajid. Shahryar was set to discuss Plato's Republic, and Sajid would discuss the Quran. Both are excellent speakers. Shahryar's discussion on Republic was captivating. He summarized Plato's thoughts on ethics, values, statecraft, family, gender psychology, and more so vividly it felt like Plato himself was standing in front of us, pointing and explaining each concept.
After Shahryar finished, Sajid began his talk. He gave a thoughtful summary of why the Quran was revealed and its guidance for individuals, society, the state, family, gender, and such topics. Before ending, Sajid added, "The Quran was revealed for all of humanity, not just Muslims. It's actually inclusive." And that's when things got heated. Rupom wasn't buying it. He scoffed. "So now I have to hear that the Quran is inclusive too. How? That's rich." "Yes," said Sajid calmly. "Absolutely." "Oh really? Guess you haven't read the communal verses of the Quran yet," Rupom said sarcastically. "Let me educate you." Now, Rupom and Sajid are classmates, so they speak casually, with a lot of teasing and banter. Rupom went on to recite the Quranic verses in English, Surah Al-Imran 3-118 and Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:51. He translated them to, "O you who believe, do not take for intimate friends those outside your faith. O believers, do not take non-Muslims as your friends. See, the Quran tells you not to befriend people like us non-Muslims. And here you are, handing out an inclusivity badge. Isn't that hilarious?" Rupom laughed loudly. I started thinking. Despite his mocking tone, Rupom raised a question that couldn't be dismissed lightly. We all turned to Sajid for a response.
Sajid took a breath, cleared his throat, and began, "Rupom, look. The Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad PBUH. So, we must interpret its verses the way he did. You can't just understand Plato's Republic however you want, right? You need to interpret it the way Plato intended. That's common sense, isn't it?" Rupom nodded. "Fair enough, so then we must understand the Quran in the way Prophet Muhammad did. Now, let's come to the verse you mentioned. In that verse, Allah says not to take non-Muslims as friends. The Arabic word used there is awliyaa, correct?" Rupom's shrug could be. "I don't know Arabic." Of course, he doesn't. Rupom comes from a Hindu family and mostly knows about the Quran from secular blogs and atheist writings. Sajid turned to me and said, "Arif, can you play that verse on your Quran app?" I opened it and played the recitation. It was clear the word used was indeed awliyaa. Sajid smiled. "Heard that? Yes, now let's interpret. The Arabic word awliyaa has two meanings, one friend and two guardian or protector. We'll use the meaning that aligns with the Prophet's own life. But first, let's clarify the difference. A friend is like you and me. We hang out, chat, eat together, maybe even sleep over. But my parents are also my friends, right? Still, they're different. They're my guardian friends. Same word, but different roles. Right?" Rupom nodded. Sajid continued, "My parents know all my secrets. They know my weaknesses. Do you?" "No, exactly. Now, look at the Prophet's life. Didn't he make friends with non-Muslims? Didn't he do business with them? Eat with them? Work with them? Just like we do." We all nodded. Even Rupom agreed. So clearly, this verse can't mean don't be friends with non-Muslims. If Allah had meant that, the Prophet himself wouldn't have interacted with them the way he did. That would be contradictory, right? Everyone agreed. So, the correct interpretation here is guardian, not friend. Allah is saying, don't take non-Muslims as your protectors or guardians. Why? Because guardians are trusted with secrets, power, and strategy. Sharing all your inner vulnerabilities with outsiders can backfire. Tariq asked, like how? Sajid replied, take the Battle of Badr, the first major battle in Islam. How many Muslim soldiers were there? 313, right? And the enemy had what, almost 1,000? We nodded. Now imagine if Muslims had gone to their non-Muslim neighbors and said, hey, we're planning to fight with just 313 men. That info could have easily reached the enemy. It would have boosted their morale and destroyed the Muslims' chance. Would that have been smart? No. Even today, America doesn't share its military secrets with China or Russia. So Allah says don't treat outsiders as your awliyaa, your guardians. This is about protection, not prejudice. We all fell silent. Even Rupom said nothing. Then Sajid looked at him and said, Rupom, we've been friends since our first year. It's been for years now. In all this time, have you ever given me your bank account number, your credit card PIN, even your Facebook password? Rupom laughed. Of course not. Exactly. Why not? Because I'm your friend, not your guardian. Now imagine if I called you a communal friend for not trusting me with your passwords. Wouldn't that be ridiculous? We all burst out laughing. Sajid looked at Rupom, waiting for a response. Rupom didn't say anything, but he smiled. A quiet, amused smile. He had clearly enjoyed the exchange.